Oh, well, there it is, 3 o'clock, and the bell rings. We can get started because I'll just ask you some questions, and then we can kind of go from there. And then this could be saved if people jump in and join the conversation.
Okay.
That's cool as well.
Okay.
So,
Sure.
Alex, how do you pronounce your last name?
McNamee.
McNamee. All right, I didn't want to throw that through the blender there. So,
Most
Alex,
people do. I appreciate that.
just yeah.
Mhm.
I do that to my own kids enough every day. So, all right, so we got some people starting to chime in here.
All right.
Caleb
Cool.
is here. Caleb, welcome. Caleb, where are you from? All right, I'm not hearing you, Caleb. You might have yourself muted. Oh, he's with CE.
Mhm.
There we are. He's coming to us from Grand Haven because I saw CE in the background. So, Caleb, welcome. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, still can't hear you, Caleb. I see your mouth moving, but it's all right. It's all right. Great. Caleb? Yep, still not so much. And then Alex is here.
Yep, I'm here.
And I'm here. All right. Well, Caleb, if we can get your audio kicking in, or you can just type if you have a question. Um, you can enter it into the chat. Yeah. So there's a chat as well. So Caleb, if you can't get your audio cooking and you want to chime in with something, throw it on into the chat. Can you hear me? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. All right. Okay. Fair play. So with us today for this very first, for the very first MIPA All-State Student Advisory Hangout, we've invited some students to come, and this is actually for the students to kind of communicate with each other. And we thought it'd be fun to bring in Alex from Snow Sites to share some ideas about the best practices for website. Alex, before we dive into that, can you tell us about you? How long have you been with Snow, and what's your background in web?
Yeah, thanks. So I've been with Snow, oh gosh, it'll be 2 years in April. So I guess we're at about a year and a half at this point. Background is kind of totally in journalism. So I started life as a high school journalist at Normal Community High School, which is in kind of the central part of Illinois, and worked 3 years for our monthly student newspaper there. Went on to college at Eastern Illinois University, studied journalism for 4 years, worked on the daily newspaper there, worked for the student yearbook, all that good stuff. And then before I came to Snow, I was working professionally as a sports reporter for 5 years or so out of college at just different daily newspapers throughout Illinois, kind of jump into different spots during those 5 years, but covering high school sports. So I did that for a while, had a great time, and life has taken me to a new state up in Minnesota and into a new job as well. So that's how I landed here.
Okay, so it is more of a journalism background than the web. Uh, so, how much of a learning curve was it to get into the web end of things?
Yeah, a little bit. Web has been a part of kind of my journalism career for several years. It was something that was kind of just starting to catch on when I was in high school. But through high school and then through the first couple of years of college, I was one of those kind of old souls who was resistant to online and kind of new media like that a little bit. So it was a little bit of a learning curve, but coming to work for Snow, one of the advantages that I had was that I had created just kind of a bunch of different blogs on WordPress.com, which is the backbone of the software that Snow uses for everybody's websites. So I knew a little bit of what that looked like, how it operated. And so that helped me kind of get a jump start on what I was looking at as far as a job goes.
Awesome. All right, so we have a couple of people joining the group here. Alex, say hi to them. Chase is here. Chase, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. How's it going?
And we can hear you too. Excellent. So Chase, welcome. What school are you?
I am from Saline High, and I am in the video production, the video news production program there.
Okay. Do you guys have a website? Do you guys put your stuff up on a website?
Yep. We're running a Twitter this year, I believe, is going to be the main outsourcing for all of our content. And we also have a website under our teacher.
All right. And we have Ms. Sear joining us, one of the advisors. And also Taylor is just joining the group as well. Taylor, welcome. Did we just mute? Did I mute you? Taylor, hi.
Hi.
What school are you guys from?
Plainwell.
Pardon?
Plainwell.
Plainwell. Okay. Well, welcome. I'm glad you guys could join in. Are you guys print? Are you web? Are you yearbook? What do you guys do?
We're print. Yeah.
And do you have an accompanying website?
Yeah.
Yes, we do. But not many people read it.
Well, and that's something we're gonna talk to we're gonna talk to Alex from Snow about.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe get some ideas about how to drive traffic to your site. It's an interesting conundrum. Do they read your print edition? Is always a question to ask. So welcome, you guys. And Ava is joining the group right now as well. Another advisor. I don't know if she's chiming in for her kids or if she's going to do it herself. But
What camera is it?
Yours is the one down there, right?
Oh, is it?
okay.
How do you?
We just flipped the camera. What did it do?
How do I
Yeah.
Oh,
No.
right?
Yeah, that's my. It shows the ceiling now. It's showing the ceiling.
oh, bring it down a little bit. Oh, there you go.
Go under setting.
All right. I struggle through. I got them muted just slightly for a second. Oh, hey, there they are. All right, but Alex, so we got a couple more people joining us, and we're going to have them say hi once they get situated there. And then, so our first question to you is, will be, is it worth putting your work on the web? Hang on to that thought. I'm gonna say hi to these guys here, and then that's gonna be our first question for you. Is it worth it putting your stuff on the web? All right. So hey, you guys, welcome. What school are you from? Ava chimed in as Ava there, right? Oh, hey, hi.
Is that thing on? Whatever it is, your box.
Ava, hi. So have your students introduce themselves and their school. Can you guys hear me? Because we can hear you just fine. Can you tell me if my microphone is working now? Caleb, no, I still don't hear you. Sorry.
Oh.
Ava. All right, so we'll let them, I don't think they can hear us. But so Alex, there you go. So that's the first question for you. Like the Buck's Blade, a very established paper. Several of these publications are just stellar, award-winning print publications. It is simply amazing. Web is newer for high school publications. Is it worth it? Why go web?
Yeah, I think, like I was saying a little bit earlier, even I was a little bit resistant to it several years ago, but I think it is worth it. And kind of one of the misconceptions that I hear a lot, that we hear a lot from students is nobody reads our paper, nobody goes to our website. And maybe that's true, and maybe that's just a case of somebody who hasn't, looked at their site traffic or is tracking their site on Google Analytics. But I think the great advantage of going online or having that as a complementary part of your print edition is just that your audience is so much broader, and it can be a national audience, it can be a worldly audience. So there's so many other people beyond your school community who then have access to read the news that's going on at your school, or that you're writing about the things that are going on in your community. So I think the great advantage is obviously, just growing your audience and having that option there, that more people are going to be accessing your website than can, go into your school once a month, let's say, and pick up the print edition.
All right. So I kind of advocate for that too, because it's actually kind of more of a real world experience, because so many, all publications have a web outlet. So, but again, this is for the kids. I wanted them to kind of take things over. Ava, I think they're. Hey, all right. So Ava, are you there with your crew?
I know my volume is working.
Because I'm hearing you guys. Are you hearing us? All right. Eva, are you and your crew hearing us okay? They're there, but gotta stare at us. Enough. Taylor, what about you guys? How do you drive people to your website?
I mean, we have a column in our news, like in our print, to like promote it, and I mean, we have signs in our school too. But other than that, there's not much that we do, I guess.
And do you feel because you said the people don't quite read it? Do you feel that they read the print as much as you'd like?
Not as much as we'd like, but I certainly think they do. Some people just take them and then they'll read them. Some do read them, and I don't know. Some give them to the parents, I feel like, because I know my mom reads them.
Okay, all right. So what's it, Alex? Are there any tricks to getting people to go to websites?
Yeah, sure. So I guess what I would tell people is, to kind of utilize and think about the things that you personally use to get your news, or whatever you're doing on a day-to-day basis. So, creating and having a Twitter account and a Facebook account and an Instagram account, and, any other social media that you can just pick right off of a tree, basically, and having a presence there, because that's where kind of your peers are. That's where maybe their families are. That's where your greater community is. So having a presence on social media, and a presence that's active. I mean, it kind of all boils down to the frequency that you're executing things, the frequency that you're publishing with. How often are you doing that? How often are you posting something new or engaging your readers in some way on social media? Everybody's going to those places every single day to see something new, and you want to kind of be a part of that. So, using social media, having accounts there, and also just, being frequent online. If you have a website, publishing as often as you possibly can, so that there's always something new to tweet out, or at least something new that your readers can go to your website for and want to come back.
All right. Lauren just joined the conversation. Hi, Lauren. Where are you guys from?
Hi, we're from Grand Blanc High School.
Excellent.
For the yearbook. We were having some technical difficulties, but we got it. We're in.
You're in now. All right.
Yes.
So you guys are both yearbookers?
Yes.
Okay. So what do you guys have social media or a web associated with your yearbook?
Yes, so we have Grand Blanc gbyearbook.com, which is like our website where everyone can like go to like links and tabs, especially seniors. And then we have Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram,
Facebook,
and Facebook.
Wow, you guys got it all. So do you have one person managing all of that, or how do you?
We have 2 marketing editors.
Okay.
They pretty much run all of our social media sites, but as editors, if one has an idea, then we kind of just like I'll communicate. So if someone comes up with an idea to post on social media, then then the marketing people will be like, oh, okay, like that's a great idea. We'll do that.
Awesome. All right, so Caleb is here. Caleb, are we making sound yet? No, we're not. Sorry, Caleb. All right. I saw you went out and you came back in. I thought we might have you this time. So, Caleb, if you want to make a comment, there's a microphone. If you want to make a comment, type it up and we'll get to you. So Chase is here and Lauren is here and Taylor is here. And really, this is you guys. This is for you guys to run. I'm just kind of here to make sure it's on. What's going good? Does anybody have anything, a success story they want to share from this year so far? Of anything cool happening? Anybody? Anybody having a struggle with something? They're like, oh man, why is this happening? Is this happening to anybody else? Does anybody else have a struggle that they want to maybe brainstorm with their fellow MIPA peeps with?
I could open up some conversation about just marketing if you'd like.
All right, Chase. So you guys are broadcast, right?
Yep.
You're with the broadcast crew.
Mm-hmm.
How do you get people to watch your videos?
So recently, and by recently I mean this year, we've been moving into social media advertising. So we're going to be putting out all our shows on Twitter. I believe we are putting up an Instagram, and I think we're going to start a Facebook as well. So we're going to be able to get to a larger audience since everybody nowadays is using social media. And so we're like experimenting this year to see how much more effective it is to get more views per se. And another change that we've made between last year and this year is that we're switching off of using Vimeo to put all our videos out, and we're going to start using YouTube now.
Okay.
So we are hoping to get more accurate descriptions of how many people are actually watching all of our shows and whatnot.
All right. So Vimeo, do you know why you were using Vimeo? Do you know what had you there instead of YouTube initially?
I think it was convenience mostly. We used Vimeo just for, like our teacher did for just all of our video projects for every class. And that's just the way it had always been. I don't know if there was a specific reason that it started on Vimeo, but I know that the reason we're switching to YouTube is because more people use YouTube than people use Vimeo.
So I can tell you from a Fraser perspective, from my school, YouTube is blocked for the students. So and Vimeo is open. So we put all our stuff up on Vimeo. This is happening through the YouTube channel, and we do put some things up there. So maybe you might not want to abandon both. You may want to post on both. But the Vimeo, there is a fee for Vimeo. So maybe that might be a reason they're getting away from it too, because there's an annual fee on Vimeo. So. So Alex, back to you. What are some best practices, just generally speaking, for web? What's a common mistake you see student media outlets making?
It's a great question. I think one thing is maybe messiness, and that's kind of has several prongs to it. So you don't want to return to a website that doesn't look good, or that doesn't look like its stories are put together well or anything like that. So, you want to, when you're publishing things to a website, you want to make sure that everything is kind of consistent and looks the way that you want it to look, and also just kind of a messiness in the way that you think about the website. So, we really try to get people away from just trying to speed through publishing content online just because it's something they have to do or an assignment that they have, and they just throw it up on the website as fast as they can so that it's there and so that they can move on to the next thing. So basically kind of caring for the way that it looks and caring through the process of uploading the stories is really important, because you want that stuff to look good online, to everybody who's going to come there.
Is it disingenuous? Is it wrong? Is it faking it? If you see something wrong, is it okay to go back and fix it on your website? Because you can't fix it in print if you got a typo. Right. Can you and should you go back and fix it on your website? Yeah,
absolutely. And that's one of the great things about the web websites and that sort of thing too, is that you can make those corrections immediate. And a lot of times you're going to find that somebody wants their name spelled correctly online more than they want you to issue a correction in the print edition, because online anybody can go find this article about this person or this thing that you're saying about this person, and they want that stuff to be accurate. So you can really freely and should do that kind of thing.
So, all right. So what do we got? Lauren, you guys, your team yearbook, and do a lot of marketing. What's the best strategy you've had? Which one do you think you get the most bang for your buck out of? Because you have them all. You got the Facebook, the Twitter, the Instagram, and a website. Which one do you think is most productive for you?
For social media?
Yeah, for any of your outlets there.
For targeting students, I believe it would be Twitter. But if we're targeting like parents, definitely like Facebook.
Okay.
Because a lot of the parents will like be pushing to like buy a yearbook, if that makes sense.
Right. So have you had any staff issues? Has there been any success stories or stresses so far this year?
I mean, there have just been like a couple, like especially for staffers, like and underclassmen as well. It takes a lot to like transition into like your staffer year and kind of learning the deadlines, learning like how fast it can go. So I would say like there have been a couple underclassmen who have just been like not working well with groups, but we just try to help them as much as possible and guide them.
So yeah, it's always the thing, right? How big is your yearbook staff? How many
I think we have 64.
Okay, wow, my people working on my book, so 64. Wow, that's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Are you finding any challenges? Are you laughing because Caleb is like on twice now? He's trying desperately to have his voice be heard.
This is my challenge for this week. We'll go with that.
Hey, you're in there, Caleb. Welcome. All right. So yeah, it's, Lauren, what do you think?
About challenges?
Yeah. So
well, we just kind of try to take it as, I mean, like there have been there have just been like everyone has their days, everyone has their weeks. So especially for staffers, like if they're going through something, we just kind of like help them out and always just have like an editor to like watch over them, or like we always try to stress to our staff that us editors, like we are here for you guys. Like we're here to help you with pretty much everything. And we've like assigned like mentees and mentors. So each staffer has like a mentor and each editor has like a mentee that's on staff. And so we just kind of like guide them. And yeah, so we just kind of like guide them.
And even with like our staff, when we do see challenges, like we'll create deadlines for them to focus on like what they need help with. Like if somebody needs help with photography, then they'll get a photography assignment where they have to take a certain amount of pictures doing this or that. So like we kind of help them like get better at the little things that they need to work on.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right, so Caleb's back to his still image. Are you with us,
I'm here.
Oh, there you are. You're still there. Wonderful.
Sorry.
All right, so Caleb, the Buck's Blade, right?
Yes.
So you guys publish how often in print?
We publish 6 times a year. We actually just had a paper come out today, but 3 times a semester for us, but 6 times a year.
So what about your web?
So our web, we're currently working on trying to make our website look a little bit prettier. So I guess those are my questions that I have today for how do we make it look pretty? How do we attract people to it? We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, we're on Snapchat, we're on everything. But we post to our web all the time. Particularly sports is amazing here for the Buck Blade, but we just need to make it look prettier. So we do post quite often. That's our web.
So are you hosted through Snow, or do you do
We are, yeah.
Okay. So is there something you wish your site could do that it doesn't do that maybe Alex could troubleshoot for you?
Nothing that not in particular, just if he could pick out a couple of different things that are like best designs for websites. I guess what I struggle with is going in there and looking at some of the different things. I've looked at a couple of the tutorials. The tutorials are good, but just going in and like trying to pick out how do I change the whole design. Like we've got ours in different blocks. I think they're called widgets, but we've got different widgets. So it's like, how do I reorganize things and make it look different? And how do I do that, I guess? What's the best way to go about doing that?
All right. Alex, did you harvest a question out of that?
Yeah. So it can be pretty complicated, can't it? There's a lot of options. There's a couple places you kind of want to live on your Snow site, and that's going to be on what's called the design options page and what's called the widget control panel. So when you talk about organization, you have different blocks or what are called widgets that you can move around to different places of the widget control panel. But when you talk about the design options page, that's when you get to how do we change the look and the colors and some of the physical appearance things of the website as well. So that's where you really want to go, and you want to focus on some things like, one, does your website have an identity? Do you have kind of a header or some kind of logo at the top that's personalized and special to your publication? And you want to also focus on widget styles, this area of that design options page where you're going to be able to change the way that basically those widgets are framed, kind of the boxes around them or the size of the section heads and things like that, the color of that sort of thing. So widget styles is a place where you can really manipulate the way that your website looks, because it's made up primarily of, like you said, all these widgets. So manipulating the way that those are sitting there, how they look, that's going to be maybe one of your biggest areas to improve, is to change those widget styles around. And the kind of the best websites go for that minimal modern look, or white background, very limited borders or lines or anything like that. And you kind of choose one widget style, maybe two, throughout your entire homepage to just create a seamless look where everything is going together. Your entire
all right, a little crazy feedback now. I tried to hold microphones. A little crazy feedback. All right. But I think we had somebody new. Taylor. Is Taylor there? Where is Taylor? Is Taylor new? Hi, Taylor. Did we get you before?
Alex.
Taylor, where are you from?
I'm from. I've been here.
Oh, okay. The widget just looked different. Sorry about that. Oh, the camera angle just changed a little bit. All right. That's right. So that threw me off a little bit. Hey, it's a learning curve, right? So Caleb, did that address any of your questions or any of your thoughts there?
Yeah, I think it did.
I think I might have you muted. No, you're live. All right.
I think it did.
Did that address any of your thoughts there?
I think it did. Sorry, my phone's. No, I think it did. Thank you.
Oh, did I mute him again? We lost your audio again.
Am I there? Am I there?
No, he did. A thumbs up from Caleb. All right, right on. All right. So, any of you other guys, what? So the suggestions. Are you thinking about contests already, or anything like that? Do you have any questions about anything like that for any of your other? Do you want to know what's going on in Grand Haven, Plainview people, Plainwell or Plainview?
Plainwell.
Plainwell. Plainwell. Do you have any questions for the? You guys talk to each other, right? You can chit chat with each other.
Our website is pretty secondary. To our print, so whatever to our print,
like Facebook Messenger.
And I don't feel about that because sometimes it just ends up first stories are unlikely. I think we need to like, have set we need to go.
All right, I'm getting some crazy loop back there, but I think you said that your website is very secondary print. You kind of want to bring them to the same level. Is that the idea? So, yeah, Alex, are there any tricks? I mean, I got one that I think about, but is there any tricks of like driving more people?
I'm sorry, repeat that question real quick.
Are there any tricks about driving people to your website?
Yeah. So I would say that, first, you just go back to using social media and linking to stories or, just kind of sending out those generic tweets where it's telling people, hey, check out our website at this link, giving them something to click on. Also, though, when you have a print edition, you should be self-advertising as much as possible in every print edition on kind of as many pages as you want. Have a little advertisement graphic there that tells people to go to your website where maybe you have some online exclusive content, and especially if you have that online exclusive content, stuff that you're not publishing in your print edition. That might get people to head to your website more often because they'll be looking for that little something extra.
All right. Yeah. What I usually have my students do is like I tell them it's like tag you're it is the game to play. Tag everybody. Become friends with every the student section and the football team and the track team and everybody. Pretty much everybody has a social media. So friend them all. And when you're posting on the socials, tag them all, and then try to put people's names in it. Tag people personally too, and if they retweet it or if they repost it or share it, it may draw new viewers to your socials. And then hopefully, you don't want to give the whole story away. Again, you can't really in a tweet because it's only 140 characters, right? But maybe that will drive them to find out more on the Bucks Blade online. And use that to drive them to the website. And same thing with like the yearbook. I mean, you could apply this to the yearbook. You could kind of sneak peek some pictures out. It's like, here's a great shot from the pep assembly. Make sure you buy your book and get all of them in the book or whatever the case may be. So that would be a way to apply that to yearbook.
Mm-hmm.
So just a thought on that. So. Anybody else have anything else cooking or pressing that they were thinking about? Elizabeth, how are you? You're in there. I muted your microphone. I think it was looping back on us a little bit. Did you want to chime in with anything? Are you there? Elizabeth, hi. Are you with us? All right. Just watching. So any other thoughts or concerns from you guys? Anybody else thinking of it? I think Elizabeth, you're lagging. Are you with us? All right. All right. So, well, Alex, I want to thank you for your time. Anything else you want to add? Well, is there anything new on the snow site that anything new or anything on the horizon that the video people?
No, nothing. No huge earth-shattering changes to talk about. You mentioned awards, and that's kind of all opening up for us right now with our Distinguished Site program and republishing submitted stories on Best of Snow. So those are some things to look for maybe some recognition and things to be competing against other schools nationally and kind of throughout the year as you write good stories and have good videos and that kind of stuff. So if you work with us, certainly be on the lookout for that kind of thing and opportunity.
Are there video specific contents through the snow site and the snow contests?
So like with our Distinguished Sites recognition program, there's we give out basically 6 different badges, all different things that we equate to good online journalism. And one of those is for multimedia specifically, where we are looking at videos and we're looking at slideshows and we're looking at podcasts as well, and how well you're doing those, how structured they are, that kind of thing.
All right. Cool. Well, Alex, anything else you wanted to add about snow sites or anything?
No, I don't think so. Anybody that has other questions, obviously, throughout the year for us, students and teachers alike are freely welcome to contact us, just sending us an email at support@snowsites.com to reach us with any questions you have about how do I make my website better, or this specific thing on my website's not working the way I think it should. So we're here to solve your problems as much as we can.
Cool. Well, Alex, thank you so much for being part of the conversation today.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, and a couple people had to take off. Taylor had to take off, but Lauren is still here. Chase and Caleb, I thank you guys for being here and being part of this first chat.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
It was great to hear from Alex.
So we'll do it again in about a month. We'll check in and say hi. And again, Alex, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks so
Happy
much,
Thanksgiving,
Alex.
everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving. All right. Bye.
Bye.